Good afternoon, Facebook REI live call this afternoon. Experience matters. So glad to have everybody on the call this afternoon, this Wednesday afternoon, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I've got a couple outstanding folks with me today that I'll introduce in just a second, but I wanted to say again, welcome to everybody. Our Facebook group site just went over 1,700 members in the last 24 hours. It's growing by leaps and bounds, and we're so happy to have people that are watching our live calls and then watching the videos afterwards. And I just wanted to say, if you would, those of you that are on here, if you would like it or share it or love it and share it with somebody, that's how we grow the group. And so let me introduce a couple of people to you today. Ashley Clonch is on the call here. Ashley, say hello so they'll know who you are.
Right here.
Ashley is an REI Portfolio Advisor, has been with us how many years, Ashley?
It'll be 11 years next month.
She is her expertise is talking to our investors and prospective investors about their portfolio and their investment and engaging with REI. She does a great job. So, I'm going to say thousands. I know it's thousands of property and handles hundreds of investors for us. And including our guest today, Lois Hershey, who lives in Pennsylvania. Lois has been with us since 2012, has 10 properties, I believe, and is in our WOW group, longtime REI investor. So I will say before I go to Lois that we had Lois on about 6 or 7 weeks ago, her and Bob, and it did not work, another investor by the name of Bob, and it did not, our internet kind of went down a little bit into the call. So I told Lois, or asked Lois if she would come back with us at another time. Her recording is still on there, but it was not live like this is today. So we have her live today and everything is working, and we're so excited to have you on here today, Lois, to spend a few minutes with us and talk to our group, which is made up of current investors. It's made up of people that are considering coming into the REI family. And it's made up of some other entrepreneurs and business owners and different people that are thinking about engaging with REI at some level. So again, I just want to say to Lois, thank you for coming on and sharing her story today. And I think people are excited to hear about how you got started in real estate, how you got started with us. And I guess I want to get into a couple things today, like the property management side of it, the communication side of it, the customer service side, and how Ashley does. So welcome to the call, Lois. I'll let you take it.
Thank you.
But one more thing. I got to say one more thing before you do it. Lois is a nurse in Pennsylvania. She was just telling me a couple minutes ago that she works 3 12-hour shifts on the front line of COVID. And again, on behalf of the Clothier family and the REI PPMG team, we thank you for your service, ma'am. And big hats off to all the frontline workers. And thank you very much. So,
my pleasure.
Welcome. You have the floor, ma'am.
Okay, sounds good. So, well, I'm very honored to be on the call, especially now that it's live again. So I always have to tell my backstory because I think that kind of says why I really value and appreciate REI Nation so much. So I was in Houston for 21 years, married, 2 kids, and I was a director of a cath lab at that time. So I was in charge of like 5 departments, busy life, Monday through Friday, off weekends type of position. So in 2002, I pulled out my notes here, but in 2002, there was a issue in Good Housekeeping written by Jane Bryant Quinn. And she wrote an article on, can you make money in real estate? So I tore it out of the magazine and I'm like, that sounds pretty interesting. Kind of tucked it away because it's completely non-nursing. It's more technical, that type of thing. So I knew it wouldn't work with my current position down there. Things changed. We kind of, made the transition to Pennsylvania to take care of my widowed mom. So I was actually working night shift at Hershey Medical Center. And I was working in an HVICU at the time, which was heart and vascular. We took care of open hearts. So it was like 2:00 in the morning, this infomercial comes on and they're like, do you want to be a real estate investor? And I'm like, are they speaking to me? So anyway, I wrote down the number or whatever. It happened to be a seminar that was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is 30 minutes from here. So I went to the seminar, which was free. of course. And then I was a star student because the goal that weekend on when we went on break was to raise our credit line limit to $25,000. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I made some phone calls and kind of gave a couple details, whatever. And of course, I raised the credit line to 25,000. Didn't know I was being played like a fiddle because that was how much the paid seminar would be for all these, I don't know, $5,000 per seminar that you would take. So anyway, so I got the prize, which was, I don't know, how to be a gazillionaire in real estate, something like that, some kind of book. But anyway, so, and I signed up for the 5 classes. I paid for the 5 classes on credit card, which is, as we all know, bad debt. So, and that was in 2007. And of course, everyone knows what happened shortly thereafter, the crash of the market. So prior to that, I think you could stick a stake in the yard and sell a house. And then I'm coming into trying to fulfill my dream right at a time when it's very, whatever, things had changed. So the seminar was completely outdated. I didn't really learn anything. I actually paid more money to be in the inner circle. I had to write down my 5 positive attributes so that I could get in the inner circle. And that just meant I paid someone a lot of money paid someone money to fly out to my house for the weekend, kind of show me how to do everything, which I did. Once again, I was a START student. I put the magnets on my car. Yeah, I buy houses. I'm kind of light at the time, of course, because I hadn't bought any. But anyway, so fast forward, I kind of did like 7 or 8 houses up here in Pennsylvania, very unsuccessfully with a real estate agent who was supposed to have the experience, and I had the money from my 401k in Houston. But anyway, all of a disaster. But I thought at the meantime I could learn, by these seminars. So that was a flop. Signed up again with another company, went to Las Vegas, bought 6 houses, found out that was almost like a scam, which of course I can agree, nothing good comes out of Vegas. So anyway, almost gave up on my dream. So once you're on these, websites, you get inundated with emails. So I don't know, I'm trying to go through my emails one night, delete, and something catches my eye, and it happened to be Memphis Invest. I mean, you guys are still in my back globe, occipital lobe, my, Memphis Invest. But anyway, so I kind of arrowed into the email, and I'm like, well, they sound kind of like the legit thing. And so I, kind of got some more information. So I found out that they were having a seminar. It was April of 2012. I want to say it was April, but anyway. So I always say this part of the story just to put things in perspective. But my husband in February of that year was diagnosed with cancer. He's in the Survivors Club, doing well. But anyway, I still felt the desire to go down in April because he hadn't started treatments yet. Anyway, flew down to in April, loved the seminar. Kind of left midway through. I think it was Saturday or something. I don't know, because there was a meet and greet Friday night, and then Saturday midway through, I'm like, I heard a lot of that. I wanted to get to, buying a house. So I went to the back, and that's where I met Ashley. And I knew, we just kind of made a little connection there. And I found out she was a pastor's wife. And I'm like, there's no way this woman is going to sail me down the river, or my family. And I'm telling you, it's just, I know you're not supposed to talk about God and politics, but I can't help but say that just was like, it was almost like that aha moment at 2:00 in the morning when that was, I don't know what that was. But anyway, this was just like another epiphany to me. Like, this is still my dream. I don't want to give up on it. I really should have, for all the, quote, bad luck that I had. But anyway, so I was so excited. I bought 2 houses, and then I kind of had a waking moment. I gave one back. I remember doing like, I take that one back, and I bought one. So that was my very first house. You know me, I always have to have show me's. So here's my very first house, number 1. Congratulations, number 1. And I kind of went off the premise of Paul Shively and his recommendations. So I got a book, put my little thing there on the side, had everything all organized. I know everyone had things online, but that back then all the things weren't online. Anyway, and that started my, relationship with Memphis Invest. So then what I would do is I would take an empty notebook, right? And I would put property number 2. I just brought property number 10. I'm not bragging, but that's why I don't have, anything typed out for that book yet. But anyway, so, it's almost like everything that was just so horrible with these other companies, and I'm not here to bash. At the beginning, I gave names. It's like when you date an ex, that's horrible. You give the name and then you're like, I'm past that. But anyway, so it's not important that and I've never really tried to bash anyone. Of course, it was just so I don't know, disillusioning, because I was trying to pursue my dream and kept on drinking the Kool-Aid, I guess. But anyway, so everything that was counterintuitive to, the previous companies was just polar opposite with Memphis Invest. And here's where I have to tap in and say, and I think I said this last time, I was raised a Mennonite, and you can Google that later if you don't know what that is, but, grew up in a farm, not lying, walked 2 miles to the school bus stop, milk cows before we went to school, the whole 9 yards. So it was a very, very strong work ethics. If we had 5 minutes to play, we played. We didn't say I'm bored. But anyway, so that to me, I think was one thing that really was just amazing with the alignment with Memphis Invest. I need to start saying REI Nation. But anyway, so the culture book, which I totally love. And once again, of course, everybody knows this. You know, I have a lot of people call me about investing with, with REI Nation. And I take the time to tell my story and say where I am and say all these good things, not because I ever get anything out of it, but because I am super excited. And had I known everyone in this group a long time ago, it would be different, but I don't care because I had to go through that to kind of appreciate that. But anyway, the core values of the company, right here, I love because it's like Kent says time and time again, it's free. When I go throughout my job as a nurse, it's somebody's grandfather, it's somebody's aunt, it's somebody's mother, it's somebody whatever, and they're somebody to somebody. And so if they're acting out or if they're irritating or if they're on the call like 1,000 times or whatever, it doesn't matter because the core of who I am, it doesn't cost any more for me to give them a smile, for me to hold their hand, to show some kind of compassion. And truly, I'm not lying when I say this, I get chill bumps. That's how I felt when I met this whole team. And I made an effort every year to go back to the seminars. I was ahead of my game because when I had 4 houses, I thought I was in the WOW Club. So, I thought I got to sit at the front and have the linen napkins and whatever. And they never once said, no, you're not in the WOW Club, get back to the back of the class there. But anyway, so back to the kind of the knit and grit. Anytime I ever wanted a house, I would always just call and say, okay, I'm ready for a house. I would be sent a couple of portfolios. And to be honest, I'm not going to lie, I picked it like a girl, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because you are given the cream of the crop anyway. I think this might be still your motto. I don't know, Kent. But at the beginning, I think your sons went out and kind of found the properties. And they had to find the best of the best because the properties went to the investors first, and anything that was left over, quote, not even the scraps, but anything that was left over, then that they were able to, to buy for themselves. I don't even know if that's still the deal, but when you hear something like that, that you're not getting some kind of mud hut without the guts or something. I don't even know. So it was things like that I kept on hearing. Like they would put 4 real estate signs in the yard. If the first one wasn't available, you go immediately to the second one because it was a lot about the customer experience. And to be honest, I think the tenants feel as valued as a property management group, feel as valued as Ashley. And there isn't anybody in that company who doesn't feel valued and part of the team. And it shows every time there's a phone call, every time Cindy calls me, I never have to worry. I never have chest pain. I've never had any bad experiences. And I know 10 properties deep, it cannot be happenstance. It can't be just because it's a stroke of luck. I think it's because, Kent, your prior experience with your business and then the way you morphed it into what it is today, I think it speaks highly for itself. I talked to a lot of people, sometimes 2 and 3 at a time. There was a conference call about a month ago that I did with 2 guys, or maybe 2 months now, I don't know. But anyway, and they're always like, well, tell me, why is this better? Or I heard about this company or whatever, go for it, do your due diligence and go for it. But I can only speak for the 2 horrible experiences I had and paid over $50,000 to buy both of their seminars, which were all messed up. Didn't teach me a darn thing. Because trust me, I promise I was a star student. But anyway, and then just the fact that, I don't know. That's my story. And I know I talk fast and I probably have said that in about 8 minutes or less, but I feel like, of course, the more houses you have, the more you can kind of tap into. So when there's a tenant that moves out, it doesn't hurt as much. But to be business savvy in the first place is to shift your thinking, to the right side of your brain so that you're in the investor side, the mindset, so that you have 6 months in advance. So if there is, quote, a move out, that you're not choking or whatever. But I don't choke. I mean, Cindy called me this past week and told me about one of the properties and the people couldn't pay rent for like 2 months. Okay, I'm not going to choke. And then when I call and say, please take out that money out of the rents for this month, it's okay because there's still a cushion. There's still whatever. It still works. Everything's automated. I don't know. I just, the way it's set up, I run the business with 10 houses and less time it takes me to run my personal household because everything is automated, everything.
Well, let me ask you about Ashley. All right. So you met Ashley 8 or 9 years ago and she's been with us ever since then, does a great job, has a lot of clients and develops really good relationships. She's somebody that can be trusted and does what she says she's going to do. How's it been working? If a new investor was on here and was considering REI and working with one of our people, what advice would you give them about Ashley?
Well, Ashley, I can't even imagine that she's not spread thin. I have no idea how you do that. But there was an investor that had called me, and he bought a house with you guys, and then he was ready for a second house. And so this is just a story quote about Ashley. So he told me that there was like a miscommunication, which he didn't know at the time. And I said, my gosh, I've never experienced that at all. I said, Ashley is awesome. So he immediately wanted to tap in and go with Ashley. But I'm like, I'm a little minion here. Like, I don't want to like, whatever. I'm sure there has to be some way, whatever. So anyway, so I think I called Cindy on that one. And so I told her the scenario, and there was a misunderstanding, but he was, because of how I spoke of Ashley, he was willing to just like dive right in and buy a house right then. But anyway, so back to Ashley. So not only with her being a pastor, but I absolutely loved her story. So her story, as I remember, is that she went in to interview with Kent for a job because she wanted to get a little bit of extra money for her, for her husband, like being to support her husband as a pastor. So anyway, so the story, I'm just going to, in my words, Kent, if it's not right, then I'm just going to live in my bubble dream. But anyway, so you basically tore up her resume and said, I don't care what you can do, I care who you are. And ironically enough, that is how I was the director of the cath lab. I felt like I could teach anybody to do anything, but I can't teach them who they are, because they come to me with who they are, the who, or the self-esteem, the self-effort, and just what makes them as a package. But anyway, so every time I just loved the times that we would be at the seminars. I have to tell the Mustang story. I'm sorry, Ashley. But anyway, so we're going to go out to eat because we're in the Well Club, and you treated us to some kind of awesome steak dinner or something. I don't know. So we go out to this parking garage. And first of all, I had to make sure I didn't bang the long Mustang door into Kent's sub or whatever he had parked next to Ashley. But anyway, so we get in the car. She starts it up. It sounds like the whole, place is going to vibrate from just, whatever, from just the noise. And there were at least 500, correct me, there probably were more, but anyway, neon lights, and it just kind of went through the whole dashboard. I don't know. I was so enamored with that for a couple of reasons. First of all, nobody wants to be part of a company when you have a dilapidated sign outside, because who wants to have what she's having when Harry met Sally, right? So you gravitate toward people, and it's not about the things, but you gravitate toward people who take value and say, you know what, I worked hard. I'm going to reward myself with this car. I know since then you got rid of it, how sad. But anyway, but I just love that story because, I was being raised a Mennonite. It wasn't that we were paupers, but we, Lord knows, knew how to reuse and recycle and repurpose until the cows came home, because that's just, the mindset. So I'm not saying that we're out there blowing, or anyone should go out there and blow money, but I'm just saying it's that whole work ethic where, okay, so back to Ashley. So my last property real quick. So I call Ashley in the middle of this COVID, and I'm like, and it wasn't about taking advantage of anyone's plight. Of course not. It was just like, it was good timing for me. So I said, hey, going to turn 2020 into a good year. I need a house. So she sent me this house, and it was like, I don't know, 900 square feet. And so I sent her an email. I'm like, I don't know. It's not the same profile, because I pulled out all my books. I'm like, it's not the same profile. It's not like the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, this, that, whatever. And so she goes, okay, I'll send you another one. So she sent me another one. I'm like, well, there's a reason she sent me that one. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we had a conversation because it was too much to text. And basically, because of the location, which she knew better than me, of course, and that's why she chose that property, because that property anywhere else would not have been like the right fit. So of course I purchased the first one. Your first answer is always right. And of course I wasn't disappointed. And of course it was rented before, I closed on the property. So I don't know. I mean, Ashley, I love you to pieces. I love the entire team. I do, when I say this, and I absolutely mean it, I pray every day for you guys and for your leadership and for safety and direction. And I name all of you guys by name, because I just think that just, I don't know. You made my dream come true, and it's a win-win. And I actually have my goals here because I thought that was equally important. Anyway, so this is what I typed out a long time ago. So college education for Keanu and Jerry, which I'm in the middle of. Assist financially with my mom and my husband's mom. They're both deceased, but my mom lived with me for 8 years. We built a mother-in-law's quarter, and she just passed away in February. So I can say I definitely did that. Let me see. Financially support my girlfriend's charity, Overcoming Powerlessness for Battered Women. I can say I did that. An annual family missionary trip, no, but my 2 kids went to Ethiopia 2 years ago with Young Life, and they were there for like a week and a half. Okay, so on and on. Why am I saying that? Because I think when you have financial goals, when you have the goal in mind to reach out and be able to bless someone, my prayer every day for my kids, that they have a job, that they sustain life, but yet they are able to reach out and bless others as well. And one of them, we sponsor 7 kids through World Vision. And I say that because I want to have as many kids as I have houses, because it just seems wrong. So I have to get 3 more somehow. But anyway, so that's me. That's my life. That's my story. Pinch me. I love REI Nation. I wish, I can't take anything back, but I do wish that I would have met them a long time ago, but I didn't. But I met them at a perfect time when God wanted me to meet you all. And I feel very blessed to have 10 houses.
Let me ask you a couple of questions then. First off, thank you for talking to our investors about wanting to talk about, find out. And we encourage them to talk to you and other people that they get close to. Hey, I want to talk to somebody that's done this. And most of our investors have never even seen their house.
I haven't. Never.
You've never seen their house. So that's important that they talk to somebody. But Ashley, it's a great story that she has. Tell me a little bit about when you work with Lois, what she's looking for, and what are the important things that you try to do for her or any investor, if you don't mind. Go ahead, Ashley.
Yeah, so obviously you can tell she's a joy to work with, and of course adds a lot of energy to the conversation. But initially it wasn't like that. When we met at the event, she was definitely very skeptical and very cautious and wanted to trust and believe that we were going to do what we said we were going to do. But of course had her experiences in the past that had kind of burned her a little bit. So I knew that, especially with Lois, that connection and trust would be a big part of building out her portfolio. And so I first just got to know her and got to know all the whys that she just unloaded on us. And you did great, Lois. So she, the why was she looking to build a portfolio, what her experiences had been, what she was looking for in an experience. And, everything that she was looking for was definitely realistic and obtainable and something that we could provide. And so I knew immediately that we would be able to hopefully build a long-term relationship, which we have. It's been 8 years now. So crazy to think how time flies so fast. But so with Lois, once we've got, like she said, with the first property or 2, we got underway, and she had been through our process with the back end customer service and just receiving some checks and seeing that this was legit and that her money was working for her and that she could obtain this goal. Once we got that going, it was really pretty easy from there because, like she said, I knew exactly what she was looking for, what she was looking to do. And of course, I knew the trust she had in me. And so that made me really go to that next level of making sure that she was taken care of, because I tell investors all the time, I could send you everything we have with absolute certainty that it's going to perform, that you're going to receive excellent care and service on the back end, and that you're going to be successful in this. But it does come down to preference and what exactly you're looking for and fitting it within the parameters. With Lois, we've been able to leverage some. We've also been able to utilize some 401k funds. So we've really maximized what we've been able to do for her. And it all was really born out of just trust and trusting us that we were going to handle everything and we were going to build out the right portfolio for her. So she has an exciting story. That's why we love to have her share it. But like she said, she's had her ups and her downs. She's had move outs. She's had unexpected vacancies and things along the way, but she knows the team that is backing that. And she knows that it's going to be taken care of and that she's going to be back on track soon. And but like I said, she's a joy to work with. And of course, nothing but good to say.
Lois, let me ask you a couple questions then. I want to get to customer service and property management. But first, Chris and I and Brett, we talk about, first off, how experience matters, that the experience that we've had in this business and all the 6,300 properties and the 2,000 investors and the 17 years just in this business. Then we talk about our reputation, our credibility and integrity. How big are those issues, if they are, to you?
So like how important, or like how, say it again, pray, tell me the question.
First, have an experienced team.
Okay.
Like we have, and then
okay.
Our reputation, credibility, integrity, honesty, those type of things have got to play into investors' thinking because they can't trust the people that they're doing business with, and that's going to be a big problem. But you've been with us almost over 8 years now. So how do those factors figure in there for you, if they do?
Well, they do factor in, of course. That's why I wanted to make sure I was answering the question right. So I think it did start, I know for sure it started with Ashley, because out of that connection, I just felt extremely comfortable that I had made a good decision. I think that's why I was so excited and bought 2 houses in theory, and then gave one back because I was just so super excited. And then since then, your team has grown. I actually flew to Dallas and saw your great property, your business building down there. It's gorgeous. And I do have one property in Dallas. So anyway, I think to me, I just know that you guys are always going to come through. About a month ago, I talked to a future investor, and he actually happened to be a radiologist because we kind of shared our personal experience, what we did personally. And he kind of shared like what his goals and visions were. And I say that because it doesn't matter, what your degree or what your goal, or like you would think a radiologist would make a lot of money, but that's still a side dream for him, especially with thinking of his kids for his future. So to me, I can say 100% of the time, I couldn't be a live advertisement for you all if I didn't feel like you guys would always under promise and over deliver in every facet. I mean, I love it when I'm walking around at work on my paid job per se, and I get a little vibrate in my pocket on my phone, because of course I can't have my phone out. And then when I get a break, it's like, PP MG or whatever they are, sorry, property management group, they've deposited the monthly rents in my account. So it's always on time, always that, they make sure everyone pays, and then I get the check. But I always go with the finances. I keep a month out, just that's my personal preference. But anyway, I never have to worry, because I know for sure that if they're on collections, or they're on whatever needs to be, or they're on the move out list, you guys have the move out list. When Cindy called me like a week ago, I had the move out list with all the repairs and everything. Like I don't even know, it might have even been the same day, probably the next day. But the whole entire team. I mean, Ashley never sits on a portfolio. She sends me one, like you probably had one sent to me out the next day. So, it's just every facet, from you, Kent, to the trickle down process, to Ashley, which is the sales, to Cindy with the follow-up, to the property management group, to the insurance. Everything with me is completely turnkey now, which I absolutely love. If I have any issues whatsoever, I call Cindy and she's right on it. The property in Dallas is funded through equity trust, which I will admit is more painful just because of equity trust rules, not because of anything with REI Nation. But anyway, so the letter will go from equity trust to somewhere else to me. So one time there was like overgrown grass, and the city's going to come in and blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my God, I got the letter, like 3 days after the due date or something. And I called Cindy, and she was like on it right away. So I don't know, the whole team is like super amazing.
Well, so we mentioned Cindy a couple of times on here, but I haven't said it. Of course, Cindy is your customer service rep, and Ashley is your portfolio advisor. So Cindy, in our company, we have 7 people in customer service, and she handles most of our WOW people, not all of them. There's Carrie helps her handle a lot of our WOW people. So I know she calls you once a month, updates you on all your properties, what's going on with them. How's it been working with Cindy, and how long have you guys been working together?
I want to say I started working with Cindy after, I know that I should remember this, but it probably was after I had like the 5th house. I want to say, I don't remember who it was before. Cindy's amazing, always amazing. I mean, she calls and gives me an update, or sometimes she said, I don't have anything. Do you? Nope, I don't have anything. Or like I said, if there's a move out, she'll call me in between, before the monthly call. But once again, I can be out with a friend, I can be somewhere else, and it never gives me chest pain. I never look at that phone like, oh my, Cindy's going to be the bearer of bad news or whatever, ever. I mean, she's always on it, always. Love Cindy.
Great. We have 7 ladies down there, and they're all awesome. They all do a great job. It's all their job is every month, every day, every week, is to call clients like yourself, update them on their properties, see how we're doing. Most of the time it's good news. Sometimes there's a maintenance call, sometimes there's a move out, and that's just part of the business as you know it. So you got up to 10 properties, and then we got a discount in the property management thing that we just started a few weeks ago. Are you sitting at 10 for a while, or what do you think is going to happen down the road?
Well, I'm not quite sure. I thought you would entice us with like a WOW Plus or something. I'm just kidding. You know what? I don't know. I am, like 37 years as a nurse. And I've not used any of this money from the investments for my personal, because I just want to, number one, live within my means. And I want that to be for future, so to speak, for generational wealth with my kids, because at least my older son's going to go into ministry, which is which is helping young kids in high school learn about God, that type of thing. So anyway, I know for sure that's his dream and his goal. So yeah, I would love to go on. I don't know. Yeah, to me, I couldn't have 9 because that was too much for my OCD. I had to have an even number. So for sure, if I have 11, I'll have to have 12. But I don't know. I mean, that's interesting. You say that. I haven't put my notebook yet with the 11th property like I've done in the past. But good question. I don't check it off, but yet it's not like I'm not actively pursuing it.
Do you get called, Lois, from other companies wanting you to invest with them in other cities or other states? Are you regularly talked to by other people that do what we do?
I can tell you I'm regularly harassed. I mean, somehow they found out my husband's phone number, which, he still has a Texas phone number. And anytime I see 901, area code, if it's not linked up with Cindy or with one of you guys, like linked to your name, I don't answer it anymore. I've tried to block, I've tried this, I've tried that. The emails, I get inundated all the time. I get the flyers in the mail. So yeah, that's interesting, but nope, not interested. And they could save a lot of money if they would just stop sending me their glossy cards.
Tell me about one of the most, go ahead, Lois.
Well, no, I was just going to say, it's funny because before you all changed your name, their name would almost match yours. Like one time I had to go like, wait, what? Because it was almost like a hocus pocus. Their name almost matched Memphis Invest. I had to do a double take. Anyway, but now you guys changed your name, so they'll have to be smarter.
One of the reasons why a couple reasons. One is there's some other companies in Memphis and Tennessee. And as we spread into other states, which I'm going to talk about here in just a couple of minutes, as we spread into other states, we realized that the Memphis Invest is not, nobody in St. Louis knows what Memphis Invest is, but REI Nation gives us a bigger umbrella. And so we made that change back at the first of the year. Mm-hmm. We started working on it probably 6 months ahead of that, and a lot of stuff that we had to change. And but our clients, and it's been a good change. We're past that now, and that's a big part. So let me ask you about the property management side of it, because it's one of the things that we get asked the most. And I'm assuming that whenever anybody calls you wanting to know about us, they ask about the property management, because it's by far, mm-hmm. after Ashley gets through with it and you have Cindy talking to you, but we still got to manage this property, mm-hmm. and the thousands that we manage. How big a deal is that for you when you first got in and realized the property management was whatever it was to you?
That was huge for me, mainly because of the 7 or 8 houses that I did up here by myself. I had so many war stories, and I will not bore anyone with those details. I'm past that all now. I've matured since then. But anyway, I had so many. I think I had each house renovated 3 times. Like the first time it was kind of fun. You can do your like home HGTV kind of like whatever. And the second time you're like, and then by the third time you're done with it. And it was all these, people that I had tried to, repair their credit. So whatever. And so I was going to help them. It was going to be a win-win. And of course, then something would happen with the lease option to buy. So that was like a big disaster. And my husband, he was a trooper. My kids would go mow the lawn. I mean, it was a family thing, and it wasn't their gig. It was my gig, but they were supporting me. So to me, when I have somebody who just sends me the little list, the move out list, I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how just amazing that is. I love looking at that list. Sometimes I don't even look at the list because why should a girl care? I'm kidding. Of course I'm kidding. Of course I care. But no, they do it so seamlessly. And unlike me, where I would be making 1,000 trips to Home Depot, Lowe's, my list would never end, and I would always buy something wrong, or it doesn't even matter, or something would always not match up. You guys have the list to the whatever box store you use or whatever before you even leave the property. And everything is fine tuned, like everything, there's black in every house, like the front doors or shutters or something. I mean, the tiles the same, the carpet's the same, the paint's the same. And that's how you guys can stay efficient and stay on top of it and not have 1,000 unused cans of unused colors. And people like a cleaner. Like if you look at my background, this is my game room. I like color, but anyway, but people like that smooth, whatever. And that's what kids like this day. They want it to be smooth and like a little bit of, I don't know, modern kind of flair to it. And that's, your houses are clean. So no, I can't say enough about those guys. They're amazing and they're awesome.
Well, our property management company is, and again, that along with our renovation, we have, as you know, Lois, probably around 90 people work for our company, and it takes all of these people and all the processes and all the teams to do what we do. I know a lot of people are going to watch this video and they're going to see it and they're going to hear your story and how long you've been doing this and how how it kind of stumbled a little bit out of the gate, and you just never quit. You just kept persevering and kept driving, and were determined to get there. And you're awesome on what you've done. I mean, we have 81 customers today that own 10 or more properties.
Wow.
You're one of that group, and
Wow.
it's a big congratulations to you and your husband, because you guys put the hammer down and got there and are here. And I mean, we're so lucky to have you as a client to be able to serve you, as we are with all of our clients, because that's how we look at them. And we're not perfect, but we're always chasing that 2% that we can do better. I think we're probably 98%, but there's 2% that we can do better, and our team is always chasing that. And that's the difference in us and other companies, that we have the people that understand the vision that we have, that we want to be better every single day. And we take every survey that comes in and try to improve upon it in any department. But you're just, it's great to have you as our team. If I can, I'm going to I told everybody on the call today, early in the call, I was going to make a couple announcements. So if I can, then let me make these and then we'll wrap up. So I wanted to tell our people on the call today that we are venturing into San Antonio. We started actually trying to buy a few houses in San Antonio, working out of our market. So that's on the agenda for us. We are today we're licensed in Florida, so we may start to look at some opportunities down there. We are in the process of being licensed in Alabama, so we're looking at that market. And we're looking at some other things maybe in Arkansas. We have Little Rock and maybe some other cities in there. So we're looking at that. And then in addition to that, we've hired a person to come in. And one of the things that we've never done, we've never managed any houses outside of our circle. All the houses that we manage today, we renovated them and sold them. But starting the 1st of October, we're going to start to look at outside properties. In other words, if somebody in Little Rock had some houses with another property management company, we're going to start to take a look at that. And it's a process where they have to check us out and we have to check them out. But we're going to pursue the rest of this year and start to grow the opportunities outside of the houses that we do right now with somebody. Our investors have houses with other property management companies. And if we've earned the opportunity to manage those houses in the markets that we're in, and maybe even some of the markets that we're not in, we're going to take a look at that. So that was a couple announcements that I wanted to make today. So Lois, do you have any questions for myself or Ashley today?
I don't. I know I really value that you guys kind of keep ahead of trends, or at least with trends, because I think that you guys are changing your platform. I did enjoy the seminars, with the once a year seminars, and I know that kind of morphed into whatever. You have to kind of meet the people where they are, and it's not like you can't learn anything different, but I always did enjoy them, because I think that you get to hear, meet other people and just kind of hear where they are. And then sometimes I would meet people at the same recurring seminar. But I would like to say one thing. I don't think life is about comparing. So it's not like I have 10 houses and I'm better than someone who has, 2 or 3, or like I'm not as good as someone who has 15. You do have to have goals. And that's why I mentioned that, because I think that's important. When you compare, you're just having someone else's life second fiddle, so to speak. You're not living your life. So I'm not here to kind of elevate myself. I feel very honored that I was asked. I'm very humbled to say that I have 10 houses. It's not a prideful thing at all. But the people that are like future prospective buyers, I'd say take the plunge, pretend it's monopoly money, just shift your thinking to the right investor side of the brain and take the polar plunge. So anyway,
well,
no questions though.
Thank you. You're a
according to Google Books. I can't did in Brazil.
Sorry, must have said something that activated my phone.
You're a pleasure to work with. Ashley, any final thoughts today?
No, I think Lois did a great job of kind of documenting her experience, and like Kent said, you're a pleasure, and a joy. You're excited, which, that's always contagious. So I'm glad I really am glad that you've had such a good journey with us.
Lois,
Love every minute.
On behalf of our team and our family, thank you for the opportunity to serve you and to manage your properties and to work with you. And we don't take that for granted either. That's, every one of our customers is something that's very important to us, and everyone has a different story, and we treat everybody the same. And without people like you and the other clients that we have, we wouldn't be where we are today. And again, I think I said this last time, over 50% of our business every month is our existing clients buying more properties.
Wow.
And that doesn't happen if we weren't doing the right type of job. Now, again,
Right.
like I always said, we can always get better. But we've actually seen that number creep up to 55 to almost 60% now of every house that we sell every month, which is about 70, 75 is existing clients growing their portfolio. And that's,
Wow.
to me, that's a big deal, because that shows that they trust us. They have confidence in our people. We got great people doing the job. We're getting the houses rented. We're getting their money collected. We're paying them. And that's what it all boils down to. So again, on behalf of our family and all of our great team here at REI and PPMG, it's a pleasure having you. You did a great job today. I knew you would be awesome. You are. And
That's funny.
thanks for coming on. You can call us anytime, anything you need. We're here to help you and here to serve you. And you have a great week, ma'am. And it's a pleasure to serve you.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashley.
Have a blessed day.
You too.
Bye-bye.